Stop shouting at me.
2, action.
Hi everyone, good evening and welcome once again to my View Your View. On today's episode, we're talking politics yet again. You know how it is. Our goal here is to come forward, bringing you the updates in our nation as it concerns us regarding the political atmosphere, the political system of our nation, Nigeria. A whole lot has happened since we started this content, from the primaries to everything that has happened in the different states, Ekiti State, Osun State, with their elections, the gubernatorial elections, and the winnings, and the losses, and every other thing in between. This week, we are going to be giving you the highlights, politically, where our nation is concerned. A whole lot of stuff happened. I'm sure you would have seen some of them on social media. One of the things we do here is just to come forward and have our kinds, our, age group, come forward to discuss the political system, right? We go about shouting, not too young to run, give the youth chance, this and that. But every time we only see people talk about these things on Twitter. So we decided to bring this forward for people to come, put a face to some of the things they say on social media. Of course, not to pull anybody down, not to degrade any political aspirant or what have you, but just essentially to have young people air their opinions, share their voices, and then add their thoughts to what is going on in our country regarding the political system of Nigeria. Today, I have two amazing guests on the show. One is a member of the Nigerian Youth Parliament, and the other is a businessman. Sometimes very soon, we'll be knowing, if they are supporting anybody, in the coming presidential elections, or they are neutral, like some people have claimed to be. But like I usually say, that this is not the time to be neutral regarding who the next leader of either your local government, your House of Assembly members, your senators, or even your governors and presidents will be come 2023. This time, it is one of the times that we have to take very critically as a nation. Remember, like I usually say, that if you are 22 now, by the time the next government is done, you will be 30. If that doesn't bother you yet, it should begin to at least point you to where you think your future would be. When some of us remember how old we were when the incumbent government came into power, some people still regret that they actually canvassed for votes for the Buhari administration. But yeah, it is what it is. You can only look back in hindsight to see the mistakes you've made and hope that you are not going to make that mistake in the future. Trust me, guys, the government of the day determines a whole lot in the lives of every single human being in a country. And if you do not know that actively by now, then you must have still been sleeping. But this is not the time to be sleeping. Everybody will have who they are supporting. Remember, my role here is not to come and tell you who to vote in the coming elections. My role is to bring information to light, bring information to you to help you make informed decision. But if you look back at the last 8 years, yes, I was one of the people who canvassed for votes. I remember where I was, several times in 2015 when I was telling people, beating my chest to it, that you see this coming government, Buhari is the solution to this country. Yes, there were several odds, there were several reasons why people did not want him in power. I was not there in 1984 when he was the head of state. People had their reasons, particularly people who were older, had their reasons for which they never wanted Buhari to be back in government. But for some reason, they were not loud enough, right? They were just quiet or silently speaking beneath, the line. But it happened as it did, that Buhari eventually emerged as the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and how be it so, we enjoyed light for the first 1 month. Oh, this country is a movie. We enjoyed uninterrupted power supply for the first 1 month, and we have seen how life has, taken downward turn since then up until now. Nobody, even the deaf and the blind, can hear and see the many things that has gone wrong since Buhari became president, right? Is it Buhari's fault? I don't know. Like usually, like I say, because I'm not the president, neither have I ever worked in the presidency. I don't have any idea what it is like to work from that space, right? But what I know is that just like in the private sector, if a person is given the mandate for leadership in any organization, be it bank or what have you, you are expected to produce a certain kind of result, and you are measured and judged at the end of the day by the results that you have, right? So we all should also be able to hold the leaders that we elect into power accountable for the results that they've had, right? In 2015, I can't remember how much the Nigerian debt was, but now we see that they have borrowed and borrowed and borrowed. And someone said recently that they have borrowed for the children that are yet to be born, right? They have borrowed for the next 20 years, kids that will be born in 20 years, right? I don't know if this bothers you or not. Recently, it was this week that the incumbent governor of Kaduna State made a statement that he was the person who informed the president about what is going on in the country regarding insecurity. That means that the president had absolutely no idea. Be it true or not, I do not know. But what I know is that that statement is wrong on many levels, not from the side of the governor of Kaduna State, but from the fact that the president and commander-in-chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria do not have any idea that there has been incessant attacks across the nation and planned attacks, right, across the nation. Then tell me what exactly the entirety of our intelligence system has done in that regard and what they are doing. All the noise we hear here and there when EFCC wants to, apprehend a financial crime or someone who is, a fraud or, has offended in financial crimes, they know how to trail the person up until the point where they grab the person. When they want to grab you for wrongdoing in this country, it is easy for them to grab someone who has, wronged, particularly being on the wrong side of the government. In Lagos State, for instance, this past week, I know of people who were stopped by uniformed men, not the police now, the VIO or